UF cable is permitted for use in commercial applications, including parking lot lights. According to the National Electrical Code, Article 333.10 states that UF cable is permitted for use underground, including direct burial. Article 410.13 states that UF cable is permitted for use in wet locations. Article 680.11 states that UF cable is permitted for use in circuits rated up to 600 volts. Article 680.21 states that UF cable is permitted for use in branch circuits for lighting. When installing UF cable in a commercial application, it is important to follow the NEC requirements. Firstly, the cable must be buried at least 24 inches deep. Secondly, the cable must be protected from physical damage, such as by using a conduit or raceway. Thirdly, the cable must be terminated in a weatherproof enclosure. UF cable offers several benefits for parking lot lighting applications. Firstly, durability, as UF cable is resistant to moisture, sunlight, and physical damage. Secondly, convenience, as UF cable can be installed quickly and easily, eliminating the need for expensive conduit or raceway. Thirdly, cost-effectiveness, as UF cable is relatively inexpensive compared to other types of cable. Let's delve deeper into each of these aspects. Considering Article 333.10, the permission for underground use, including direct burial, makes UF cable a practical choice for parking lot lighting. Burying the cable directly in the ground, instead of running it through a conduit, can significantly reduce the installation costs and labor. However, adherence to the burial depth requirement of at least 24 inches is crucial to prevent damage from digging or other underground activities. Moving on to Article 410.13, the allowance for wet locations. Parking lots are exposed to the elements, including rain, snow, and humidity. UF cable's moisture resistance ensures that the wiring remains safe and functional even in these challenging conditions. This eliminates the need for additional protective measures against moisture. Article 680.11's allowance of use of UF cable in circuits rated up to 600 volts. Parking lot lighting systems typically operate at 120 volts, 208 volts, 277 volts or 480 volts, well within the cable's voltage rating. This makes UF cable a suitable choice for powering the lights. Article 680.21 states that UF cable is permitted for use in branch circuits for lighting, which means the wiring that extends from the electrical panel to the individual light fixtures in the parking lot can use UF cable. This simplifies the wiring process and reduces the need for multiple types of cable. When installing UF cable, several requirements must be met. First, the 24-inch burial depth, which as mentioned prevents physical damage. Secondly, protecting the cable from physical damage through conduit or raceway is vital in areas where the cable is exposed to potential harm, such as near roadways or construction zones. Thirdly, terminating the cable in a weatherproof enclosure ensures that the electrical connections are protected from moisture and corrosion, preventing electrical faults and extending the lifespan of the wiring system. Regarding the benefits of UF cable, let's start with durability. The cable's resistance to moisture, sunlight, and physical damage makes it a long-lasting and reliable choice for outdoor applications. This reduces the need for frequent repairs or replacements, saving time and money in the long run. Now, convenience. The ease of installation of UF cable, eliminating the need for conduit in many cases, simplifies the wiring process and reduces labor costs. This is especially beneficial for large parking lot lighting projects. Finally, cost-effectiveness. UF cable is generally less expensive than other types of cable, such as rigid conduit, making it an economical choice for parking lot lighting installations. This can result in significant cost savings, particularly for large-scale projects. To provide more specific guidance, let's consider some practical scenarios. For a small parking lot with a few light fixtures, UF cable can be directly buried from the electrical panel to each light pole, ensuring the 24-inch burial depth is maintained. Weatherproof enclosures should be used at both the panel and the light fixture to protect the connections. In a larger parking lot with more extensive wiring, It may be necessary to run the UF cable through conduit in certain areas, such as under roadways or near heavy equipment traffic, to provide additional protection against physical damage. When using conduit, ensure that the conduit is properly sealed to prevent moisture from entering and corroding the wiring. When connecting the UF cable to light fixtures, use weatherproof connectors and fittings to ensure a secure and watertight connection. This will prevent water from entering the fixture and causing electrical problems. Regularly inspect the UF cable and connections for any signs of damage or wear. Look for cracks, abrasions, or exposed wires. If any damage is found, repair or replace the cable immediately to prevent electrical hazards. Also, consider the load requirements of the lighting system when selecting the appropriate size of UF cable. Ensure that the cable is rated for the amperage and voltage of the circuit. Using undersized cable can cause overheating and potentially lead to a fire. If the parking lot is located in an area with extreme weather conditions, such as very cold or very hot temperatures, consider using a UF cable that is specifically rated for those conditions. This will ensure that the cable remains flexible and durable even in harsh environments. Grounding is an important aspect of any electrical installation. Ensure that the UF cable is properly grounded according to the NEC requirements. This will help to prevent electrical shock hazards and protect the equipment from damage. Before starting any electrical work, always disconnect the power to the circuit. This will prevent electrical shock and ensure your safety. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the job. Electricity can be dangerous if not handled properly. Furthermore, when working with UF cable, avoid bending it sharply. Sharp bends can damage the insulation and cause the cable to fail. Use gentle curves when routing the cable around obstacles. And be sure to protect the UF cable from sharp objects, such as rocks or metal edges. These objects can cut or puncture the insulation and create an electrical hazard. When backfilling the trench after burying the UF cable, use a soft material, such as sand or soil, to avoid damaging the cable. Avoid using rocks or other sharp objects. If you are installing UF cable in an area where there is a risk of digging, consider marking the location of the cable with warning tape with signs. This will help to prevent accidental damage to the cable. Before installing UF cable, check with your local building department to see if there are any specific requirements or restrictions. Some jurisdictions may have additional regulations that you need to follow. It is also important to keep a record of the UF cable installation, including the date of installation, the location of the cable, and the type and size of the cable used. This information can be helpful for future maintenance or repairs. UF cable can also be used for other outdoor applications such as powering landscape lighting, irrigation systems, and outdoor outlets. The same installation requirements and safety precautions apply to these applications as well. When using UF cable for outdoor outlets, be sure to use weatherproof outlet boxes and covers to protect the connections from moisture. And always use ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection for outdoor outlets to prevent electrical shock hazards. UF cable is a versatile and reliable wiring solution for commercial parking lot lighting and other outdoor applications. By following the NEC requirements and taking the necessary safety precautions, you can ensure a safe and efficient electrical installation. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector if you have any questions or concerns about using UF cable. They can provide guidance and ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and regulations. When planning a parking lot lighting project, consider the long-term costs and benefits of using UF cable. While the initial cost may be slightly higher than other wiring methods, the durability and ease of installation can result in significant savings over the lifespan of the project. And be sure to choose a reputable supplier of UF cable. This will ensure that you are getting a high-quality product that meets all applicable standards. When storing UF cable, keep it in a dry and protected location. This will help to prevent damage to the insulation and ensure that the cable is ready for use when needed. And dispose of any scrap UF cable properly. Do not burn it or bury it in the ground. Contact your local waste management authority for information on how to dispose of electrical waste. By following these guidelines, you can safely and effectively use UF cable for commercial parking lot lighting and other outdoor applications. Remember to always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals when working with electricity. Considering the specific needs of your parking lot lighting project, you might need to adapt certain practices to fit the environment. For instance, if the parking lot experiences heavy vehicle traffic, consider using a thicker conduit or encasing the UF cable in concrete for added protection. In areas with expansive soil, which can shift and damage underground cables, flexible conduit can help accommodate movement and prevent breaks in the wiring. Furthermore, the type of lighting fixtures chosen can influence the specific requirements for the UF cable installation. High wattage lights, for example, may necessitate larger gauge cables to handle the increased current load. LED lighting, which is becoming increasingly popular due to its energy efficiency, generally requires less amperage than traditional lighting, potentially allowing for smaller gauge UF cable in some applications. The location of the parking lot can also play a role in the installation process. In coastal areas where salt spray and humidity are prevalent, using corrosion-resistant connectors and enclosures is vital to prevent premature deterioration of the electrical connections. In colder climates, ensure the UF cable is rated for the expected minimum temperatures to prevent it from becoming brittle and cracking. Regularly scheduled maintenance checks are essential to ensure the continued safety and reliability of the parking lot lighting system. These checks should include inspecting the UF cable for any signs of damage, verifying the integrity of the connections, and testing the functionality of the lighting fixtures. Addressing any issues promptly can prevent more serious problems from developing and extend the lifespan of the system. Remember to document all maintenance activities, including the date of the inspection, the findings, and any corrective actions taken. This documentation can be helpful for tracking the performance of the system and identifying any recurring problems. When upgrading or expanding a parking lot lighting system, carefully consider the existing electrical infrastructure. Ensure that the electrical panel has sufficient capacity to handle the additional load and that the wiring is properly sized to accommodate the increased current. It may be necessary to upgrade the electrical panel or install additional circuits to meet the new demands. Integrating smart lighting controls can further enhance the efficiency and functionality of a parking lot lighting system. These controls can automatically adjust the lighting levels based on occupancy, time of day, or ambient light levels, reducing energy consumption and improving security. Smart lighting controls can also provide valuable data on energy usage and system performance, allowing for informed decision-making and optimization. And if you are planning to install electric vehicle charging stations in the parking lot, be sure to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the electrical infrastructure is adequate and that the charging stations are installed safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Integrating renewable energy sources, such as solar panels, can further reduce the environmental impact and operating costs of a parking lot lighting system. Solar panels can be used to generate electricity to power the lights, reducing reliance on the grid and lowering energy bills. Consider implementing a comprehensive lighting management plan to ensure that the parking lot lighting system operates efficiently and effectively. This plan should include regular maintenance, energy audits, and upgrades to ensure that the system meets the changing needs of the parking lot and its users. Remember to stay informed about the latest advancements in lighting technology and electrical codes. This will help you make informed decisions about the design, installation, and maintenance of your parking lot lighting system. Consider the impact of the lighting on the surrounding environment. Use shielded fixtures to minimize light pollution and prevent glare from spilling onto neighboring properties. And consider using lighting that is wildlife friendly, such as fixtures that emit a warm, amber light that is less attractive to insects and other nocturnal animals. When choosing a lighting contractor, select a company with experience in commercial parking lot lighting installations. Check their credentials, references, and insurance coverage to ensure that they are qualified to do the job safely and professionally. And get multiple bids from different contractors to ensure that you are getting a fair price. When evaluating bids, consider not only the price but also the quality of the materials, the experience of the contractor, and the warranty offered. Remember that the cheapest bid is not always the best value. Finally, be a responsible steward of the environment. Use energy-efficient lighting, recycle materials whenever possible, and properly dispose of waste. By taking these steps, you can help to reduce the environmental impact of your parking lot lighting system and create a more sustainable future. Ensure that all lighting fixtures are properly aimed and adjusted to provide optimal illumination and minimize glare. Regularly clean the lenses of the lighting fixtures to remove dirt and debris that can reduce their efficiency, and trim any trees or shrubs that may be blocking the light from the fixtures. When replacing lighting fixtures, consider upgrading to more energy-efficient models. LED fixtures, for example, can use up to 75% less energy than traditional lighting fixtures. And be sure to properly dispose of the old lighting fixtures. Some fixtures contain hazardous materials such as mercury that must be disposed of safely. In addition to providing adequate lighting, consider the aesthetic appeal of the lighting fixtures. Choose fixtures that complement the architecture of the building and create a welcoming atmosphere. And consider using decorative lighting to enhance the appearance of the parking lot. For security purposes, consider installing motion-activated lighting in areas that are not frequently used. This will help to deter crime and improve safety. And consider installing security cameras to monitor the parking lot. Security cameras can provide valuable evidence in the event of a crime. Regularly review the security footage to identify any potential problems or suspicious activity. When designing a parking lot lighting system, consider the needs of all users, including pedestrians, bicyclists, and drivers. Provide adequate lighting for walkways, crosswalks, and bicycle lanes. And ensure that the lighting is not too bright, as this can create glare and make it difficult for drivers to see. Also, consider the impact of the lighting on the night sky. Use shielded fixtures to minimize light pollution and prevent glare from spilling onto neighboring properties. And consider using lighting that is wildlife friendly, such as fixtures that emit a warm, amber light that is less attractive to insects and other nocturnal animals. By following these guidelines, you can create a safe, efficient, and aesthetically pleasing parking lot lighting system that meets the needs of all users and minimizes its impact on the environment. Remember to always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals when working with electricity.